Hello, welcome. In this video we are going to discuss a model question paper for first degree program under CBCSS 5th semester BSc Mathematics. Question paper code MM1545 Mathematics Software LATEX and SAGEMATH. The examination will be of 3-hour duration. Maximum mark will be 80. The question paper is divided into two sections. First section will contain questions from LATEX. The second section will contain questions selected from SAGEMATH. Section B will contain questions from SAGEMATH. Let's go through the details of the type of questions. See, you have to answer one ticked question from section A. Each question in this section carry 30 marks, and the instructions for all candidates is given here. The external examiner should identify 4 questions from this section in consultation with the internal examiner, and should allot questions to the students only from these 4 questions. If the candidate requests for a change of a question, then 10 marks should be reduced for each such question, for each such change in the question. Typeset any 5 are selected by the external examiner from the following. So here you can see many questions are given. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10 questions are given in this single question. Sub questions are there are 10 sub questions. Out of this 10 sub questions, you have to answer 5 questions, and each question is very simple. The answer to these questions are very not very lengthy. Very small answers are expected. So questions are very small questions, but it must be selected by the external examiner after consultation with the internal examiner. So I can read the questions. First question here given is a set with some elements. It means you have to type a set with some which contains some elements, but in some questions the set itself will be given. A small set will be given. Then the second question is the limit of a sequence. So here you have to type the limit of a sequence. The sequence will be given, but in some questions you can expect it like a sequence, directly sequence will be given, and then you have to the limit function will also be there. Okay. Then the meaning of or the expected outcome of this question is that use of whether it is or expected outcome means what the examiner is going to test is whether you can type, whether you know how to type the limit function and a sequence, etc. So the next question is a definite integral of a function. So here you have to type the integral. You have to display the integral symbol together with its limits, lower limit and upper limit, and the function will also be if the function is not given there in the question paper, then you have to select your own a function of your choice, and then you can use that function. But normally you can expect a function or an expression will be given there in the question paper. Next question is a function with its definition consisting of 2 cases. A function with its definition consisting of 2 cases, that means it's a split function. 2 sections will be there for that function. It's not a single function or single expression function. There will be more than 2 or more part for that function. Then a symbol matrix or a determinant. Next question is matrix displaying matrix or determinant dimension to be specified by the examiner. Next question is a variable with subscript and superscript of length 1. Subscript or superscript typing, a variable with subscript or superscript. Then a variable with next question is you have to type a variable, you have to display a variable with subscript and superscript of length more than 1. Like by length 1 means see here you have the superscript 12 1 and 2, so here it has length 2. This is the variable x and x to the power 12. Here you have two letters here or two numbers here, so it has the this superscript has length 2, and that is the meaning of this term length in this context. And next question, 3 Greek alphabets. You have to type 3 Greek alphabets like alpha, theta, epsilon. And that this kind of question may vary. I mean, different types of symbols can be asked to typeset. Okay. Then derivative of next question is derivative of a function in a fraction form. You have to type the derivative of a function in fraction form, and then the special sets such as r, q, c, z, n, etc. should be you should be able to typeset this kind of special letters. So if the candidate requests to change any in this kind of questions, so if the candidate requests a change of one question, then 2 marks can be reduced. And then typeset any next question, typeset any 5 from the following. And text in bold letters, you have to typeset a text in bold letter and text in 2 big font sizes, and next text in 2 small font sizes, and another underlined text. I mean text with an underline, then capitalized text, and next you have to type text in small caps. Next text in the center of line or the centralized text, and you can expect left aligned text, right aligned text, like likewise variations in this question you can expect. Okay, then text right aligned or the right of the line on which touches the right margin, and also you can expect to ask a question asking to typeset a sentence which is left aligned. So next see text separated by horizontal spaces of some specified centimeter. So which are 2 texts which are separated by space, and text in text in italics, and this kind of questions you can expect. So then 2 marks can be reduced if you are asking a change in the question. Next third question, typeset a symbol table with 2 or more rows. Typeset a symbol table with 2 or more rows or 2 or more columns. Then as instructed by the examiner, and the first row text must be in bold text. Then fourth question here in this question paper is typeset a theorem, corollary, an example using AMS math package. Next typeset 3 equations using single align environment with equation numbers only for the first and the last. with the equation number is only for the first and the last, and sixth one, prepare a list of bullet items with a total of 5 items at 3 levels, and then prepare a list of numbered items with a total of 5 items at 3 levels. Eighth question, write a LaTeX file to obtain the output as suggested by the examiner. Prepare a LaTeX file to obtain the output as suggested by the examiner. The examiner should suggest the output consisting of mathematical symbols and operations. So these are the different types of questions that we can expect in the LaTeX part. But this list doesn't indicate that only these questions will be asked, but a similar type of questions we can expect in the examination, because different sets of questions are used on different days. Therefore, but this will give you only an outline of the questions that can be expected in the question paper. Next, coming to the SAGEMATH part, you have to answer two ticked questions from section B. Each question carries 25 marks. The external examiner should identify 8 questions from the given list. So see here, 16 questions are there, and then 8 questions will be identified, and out of these 8 questions identified, but these questions will be identified in consultation with these questions will be identified in consultation with the with the internal examiner. Okay, then these and out of these questions, 8 questions will be identified, and out of these questions you will be asked to answer only 2 questions. So if you are asking for a change in the question, in one of the question, then 8 marks will be reduced. It is the instruction. Okay, then you can see here the questions given, and these are not the strictly there is no strict instruction that these questions, the same questions will be asked in all the question papers, but it gives only a rough idea of the question that can be asked. But most of the questions will be something like that, like this. And now define, the question is the first question you can read is define and plot the graph of a function. Define a function and then plot the graph of a function is the first question. Then find the first 3 derivatives of a function. So after defining a function, you have to find the first derivatives of a function, first three derivatives of a function, and there is derivative function. You can use this derivative function to find the derivative, and define a function of one variable and find its definite integral over a given range. Define a function of one variable, then and find the definite integral over a given range, and define a function of 2 variables and find its derivative. Find its definite integral over a specified region, and define a 3 variable function and evaluate it at a given point in space. And you have to evaluate the function after defining that. Define 3 variable function. Define a 3 variable function, and you have to evaluate the function at a given point in space. Okay, plot 2 functions over a specified range. You have to plot 2 functions over a specified range, and give different colors to the plots, and using integration find the average of a function over a given range. And then find the GCD of 2 given numbers using Euclidean algorithm. Find the GCD of 2 given numbers using the GCD function, and then using Bezout identity or express express the GCD using Bezout's identity method, and then turn the next question. Find the root of a polynomial of degree 3. polynomial function, you can you have to type a polynomial function and then find its, you have to find its root, and define the vector field by defining three component functions. Find its find its divergence, and define a vector field by defining three component functions and find its curl. Plot the equation using implicit plot over a specified range. Then next, plot two curves and find the area between them. Find the line and parabola, define a line and parabola and find their point of intersection. Define a line and parabola and find their point of intersection, and plot the three-dimensional figures using using the command plot 3D and or implicit plot 3D. Only one of these cases you have to answer. And these are the questions. This is only an outline of the question. But if these questions are not, if some of the questions are not solved in the lab by you, then that can be avoided by discussing it with the internal examiner, and that question can be avoided because this list contains 16 questions. Out of these 16 questions, 8 questions can be selected. So half of the there we have double choice, so half of the questions can be selected, and out of these half of the questions, only 2 will be asked to be attempted by the student. So this is the outline of the question paper. Okay, thank you.